sexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Child, somebody better save Bryshere Gray from that of career he just got into, because he's now doing some real wild things on there and people are not here for it. Apart from him slanging his wood in our face every day, he's now also getting deeply pated by other men in his videos and even going as far as munching on their hoes like his Christmas cake. Bryshere started his of career shortly after to sud Diddy and Will for allegedly touching him inappropriately and forcing him into freak-offs. Apparently his deadbeat mom played a huge role in this by selling him off to Will and Diddy in exchange for a huge check. As if that ain't bad enough, he was also thrown out into the industry like a piece of trash when they were done using him, and now he's selling his body on to afford a motel. Yeah, y'all heard that right, this man is apparently living in a motel and can barely even afford that. Okay, so in case you somehow missed out on all the madness that's been going on with Bryshere Gr these past few days, he started a no account after being blackballed and not being cast in no movie roles for years now. Initially when he started it, he was just teasing us with photos of his woodprint and his boxers, then he actually whipped it out and got to touching himself. This obviously got people talking, because once upon a time he was once one of the best rising actors in Hollywood. Now this man on twerking and playing with his wood for chicken change, as if all these videos weren't wild enough. Folks started to side-eye him for potentially being gay when he began to collaborate with trans women and popular gay creators. The first trans woman he looked up with was the popular corn star Malika __. He followed it up by posting several photos of him and gay corn actors, and this was what really shocked people, cause at first he was just making them go down on him, but in his recent videos, which I obviously can't post here but they're very much available on his Twitter page, this man was actually getting pated by these men. It's a mess, y'all. Now, like I said before, Bryshere was not always like this. People suspect that he allegedly got turned out by Will and Diddy, and they even came through a receipt. Even Jaguar Wright broke her silence on the whole thing, and she spilled major tea about how Bryshere's own mama allegedly sold him to Will and Diddy when he was just 17 for allegedly being their boy toy. It all went down when Rash was initially introduced to Will and Diddy by his then manager Charlie Mack for a mentorship program. Will was supposed to help him sharpen up his acting skills while Diddy helped him out with the music, since he apparently also wanted to be an artist. However, by the time his so-called mentorship was over, Bryshere was only violated, used, and passed around the industry. Jaguar Wright was the first person to bring this to folks' attention when she exposed Diddy and Will for allegedly using a so-called mentorship program to lure young boys into inappropriate activities against their will. Jaguar even spilled the tea about the time that Bryshere and Meek Mill allegedly ran out of Will's house screaming for help after one of them freak-off sessions. Bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill's Bryshere Gray left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed to help to make things even worse. He's got into a lot of legal trouble over the years, and people believe the reason why he was crashing out so much was because of what they did to him. For example, in 2022, he was found guilty for aggravated ass against a woman he was hooking up with at the time, but this wasn't his first run-in with the law, because back in 2020 his wife was rescued by a man at a nearby gas station after she went there asking for him. She told the police that Bryshere had strangled her and put his hands on her continuously till she kept going in and out of consciousness. When the police pulled up to the house to arrest him, he initially refused to come out the house. It took hours of negotiations between the SWAT team and Bryshere to get that man to come out, and then when his mugshots were released, people could not help but point out how different he looked. This was when folks were starting to piece everything together and realized how much damage the industry just had caused him. Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had her for hours inside their Gudai home, the bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events. Now ain't nobody saying that this ain't a grown man who was very much responsible for his actions. However, trauma definitely has a way of making people act at a character. Now going back to Jaguar Wright, she came back again not too long ago to spill more tea about how Will and Diddy allegedly orchestrated what they did to Bryshere. Apparently Charlie Mack, Bryshere's then manager, was Bryshere's handler, and he was appointed by Bryshere's mom Andrea Mayberry to pimp out Bryshere to the highest bidder for a check. Jaguar also said the real reason why Bryshere's deadbeat mom Andrea allowed all these traumatic things to happen to her son is because she wanted to exploit his plan to write a book that nobody cares to read so she can make some money off of. It's a Andy I'm talking about for his mom. I'ma kick you and you're and I'ma go to work North Philly style you and Charlie you happy now he's a gay star are you happy now Andy for book that didn't shell I hope that new husband of yours leaves you and maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail his biological father for all of his life and what you had to do with it you see I'm sorry Jaguar then went on to claim that there was a time where Andrea regretted out her son. After seeing the damage that had been done to him she claimed that Andrea even came to her for help and she told her to get Bryshere far away from Charlie Mack since he was the link between Bryshere and Will and Diddy but guess what Andrea couldn't bring herself to stop getting them checks so she did nothing and just allowed Diddy and Will to keep messing with her son came to me and begged me for my help I told her to get thee away from Charlie I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago state to be ready for filming she knew what Will did to him but because of Charlie C and Charlie had promised her all kinds of things and all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a deal that's all she ever was she went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitch on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag until she got with Larry Lar my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home your whole book is lies Andy and I hope anybody that bought it ask for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your sons gate you a Jaguar also said the reason why they're encouraging Bryschere's new career is because they want people to think he crazy when he come out with this lawsuit that'll be against Diddy and Will and won't nobody take him seriously cause they'll think he's not mentally stable and get this y'all Jaguar even went as far as claiming there's a secret tape of Justin Bieber will Jaden Diddy and Bryshere having a freak off they trying to SL him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him with Jaden and Justin present that tape exist okay I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids that would just be in bad taste baby oil babies you can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson you just come on starting to sound that way ain't it all that talent and she let Charlie tune that boy up walk knowing that he was bipolar and had well kind of mother do that to her son turn him into a prot so you can pretend to be something more than what you are which is nothing more than you're a big old they're making your son out to be that's for sure, cause he didn't have no choice you was down by all hey I'm sorry the Bryshere conversation for me is not easy because I came to Balal and I asked Balal to help me save the kids and all he was worried about with his book oh yeah no definitely nobody care about these kids don't nobody care about these kids and for those of y'all wondering what lawsuit the Jaguar is talking about well a few months ago shortly before Bryshere launched his career there was news going around about him allegedly preparing to file a $50 million lawsuit against Diddy. This was revealed by a blind item that said I suspect the soon to step forward male victim of sexual assault by the Celeste Mogul will not be the last man to do so Sean Diddy comes away it's some real ES allegations out there y'all but just remember this is all alleged information so we can't really do too much until Bryshere actually comes out to reveal these things out his own mouth however in the meantime this man is on acting now experimenting with all kinds of people ain't it crazy how he was everybody crushed back in the day when he was just a rising star on Empire and now this man getting his body played with on camera for less than $5 ch it's a cold world out there y'all as usual people have their own thoughts about this like this person who said the mothers are totally sick that's child they should go to jail Jaguar is crying I love her honestly may God protect her another person said horrifically disgusting when you take the innocence from a